Now, I remember the first time that I went to Boothferry Park, which had been around about 46, I think, when it was opened, 1946, and seeing this amazing stadium that was something I'd never seen, because the only stadium I'd really been to then was the Boulevard, which was in, again, about 2 years before that, say 44, 45, and it had been bombed, and it was in a right state. And of course, as I said, they was about to rebuild it, and it was shabby. So when I went to Boothferry Park and saw this, what I considered then, in 1946 or 47 probably, was this magnificent place with concrete standing areas, with barriers, a wonderful, wonderful pitch. And I think really at that time it was about the best stadium in the country. And it was just like comparing chalk and cheese, or a 2-star or a 5-star hotel. It was just wonderful.
When I was 9-year-old, I remember City drawing Liverpool at home in the League Cup, and at the time, 1973-74, it was the miners' strike, and they had to play it on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock because they didn't have the fuel to run the 6 floodlights for a night game. And I can remember being at Pickering Primary School in Mr. Curtin's class, at the top class at primary school, and we could hear this incredible noise coming from Boothferry Park. And that was the first time I realised, there was something magical happening down Boothferry Road. Certainly a lot more magical than what was happening in our classroom.
Certainly got a strong memory being overwhelmed by the testosterone and the maleness of the terraces. As a kid, you just used to being at school, being at home, in these protective, cosseting environments, and then all of a sudden you're off the leash and you're allowed to do what you like, really, and you just get swept along with it. The swearing, the violence or the threat of it certainly was always kind of prickling the air, and if it wasn't that, it was somebody prickling the back of your leg with a stream of piss.
And thinking about the players that stuck in my mind that played for City in maybe the late 40s, early 50s, was Stan Motorson, was Neil Franklin, and Wolf Mannion. But the guy who really sticks in my mind was the goalkeeper, who was called Billy Bly, who was from the North East and was one of the bravest men I've ever seen keeping goal. He was only a man of about 5 foot 10 inches. I think he broke every bone in his body. But the crowd adored him. In fact, he was, in modern parlance, he was an icon.
of my earliest memories of going to Boothferry Park was to see City play Lazio in the early 70s in the old Anglo-Italian Cup. It was a night game, so it was just like the romance of a night game, the vivid green pitch with the floodlights on, Lazio's blue shirts, and City won 1-0. It was a fantastic night. I can remember the beginning of the Don Robinson era at Boothferry Park, which saw the capacity reduced from 42,000 to 15,000, I think. And Don riding around the pitch on a horse proclaiming that we'd be the first team to play on the moon, which sadly hasn't happened yet. My favourite ever Boothferry Park goal was John Hawley's shot against Sunderland, mid-70s, which featured on Goals on Sunday, every Sunday for the rest of the season. Bumped into him a couple of years later on a night out in Lambeth Hall Social Club with Peter Daniel and Vince Grimes, and he actually admitted it was a cross rather than a shot, but still my favourite, most memorable goal at Boothferry Park.